many of them have been reborn since
that's
that
like
time.
in the process of reincarnation,
Right.
or incarnated on Earth,
Right.
and helping us now from
Right. In other
as
words,
humans.
we're correcting, yeah. And
Okay.
a lot of people are actually born here in these societies, but they know that they don't belong here. They have this divine feeling within themselves. They can't explain it with their logic, but it's a feeling they have. And yeah, the Earth is going to be actually transformed to its original existence, where that there will not be these conflicts and there will be a union. And it has to start with changing the perception and concepts of people. And that's what I do in the workshops. I spend 2 days with individuals, teaching them to overcome the structured and controlled ideas that are presented to you. Like when you're born, your religion, your political views, everything is given to you.
Yes.
It's not your free will and your choice. In other words, your family kind of instills this information into you, and even kind of forces it on you. And then, because they think that this is correct and this is good, and so it's handed down from generation to generation, and it leaves little room for the individual to develop their own choices and freedoms. And so what I'm trying to do is help the people to overcome this and to go back to their own original source of seeking out what is your own emotions, what is your own choices, how do you really feel, and to overcome this programming that comes from outside. And it's a big process, but the people have to go through it themselves individually, because I don't have any magic solutions.
You don't make bang and then they are...
No, I just provide them with a different perception of reality, different concepts and understandings of themselves, and then I give them the keys to overcome this. And this is what's in my books primarily. They don't really have to even come to the workshops. They can just get the books and get the information.
But basically we have the given right to choose, the freedom to make decisions.
Right, and this is one thing I do not believe in interfering with, is the individual free will and choice of a human being to choose their own religious path, to do whatever they wish. But I think that still they need the basic information and knowledge of what happened to human beings and how human beings were a long time ago, and you need to know the history of human beings. If you give them the whole overall picture, which I do in my lectures and workshops, it gives them the ability to have a different perception of this world, the universe, and themselves, not just as physical human beings, but as the essence, the life force of each individual.
So what you say, it's not our fault that we are not spiritually more advanced because there was a manipulation?
But it's also the construction of the whole societies you live in.
Yeah, so it's part manipulation and part choice of...
Well, the manipulation and control has been built into your structures and your societies here.
It's hard to get rid of it,
Absolutely.
but it's happening.
Yeah,
And
we're eliminating it little by individually meeting with people and giving them the chance to change their perception and abilities. Of course, they have to make their choice. You know, they don't have to. But once they have the choice and they have the information, then the change starts to take place within themselves anyway.
The information they don't get on the mass media,
Absolutely,
TV.
yeah.
That's
well, even if they were to have this information, they wouldn't change the schools. It'd be too expensive, you know.
Yeah, right. They don't seem to want to, but do you... What?
Well, of course they don't want to. I mean, you know, if they monopolize the energy industries and they're controlling the monies here, any kind of a change would put an end to a lot of their systems, and this is what they're trying to prevent.
Power, greed, and money.
Well, material things, you know, but they'll be here when you're not here.
Are you optimistic for humankind? Are we developing? Is the consciousness changing? Or?
Absolutely. When you just present to the people the concept and idea of simple basic steps, like if you take away judgment and criticism and replace it with acceptance, you know, you have a total different way of living, because you're allowing the other person the free will to make their own choices that's best for their lives and taking the responsibility for it, and not interfering and not focusing on this person so much. You're focusing on your own self. You're eliminating a lot of conflicts, because you don't create conflicts if you just say, well, you have your perception, you have your reality, you have your own choices to make, and let them do and have their free will. The biggest problems and the conflicts are created out of someone trying to force their own ideas and beliefs, and it's control and manipulation once again.
All right. Since you came here first, do you see a change, a progress in the consciousness?
Oh, certainly.
Yes, you do.
When my book was written in the 60s, There was no understanding or concept of different dimensions. There was no way at this point in time to reach the people. With the development of your technology, with your satellite systems and your computers and the communication systems, has come a greater awareness, because of course there's more information available to each individual. And this changes right there the perception and the ability for understanding a great deal more.
So that it has two sides. Information can manipulate, but it can also broaden the horizon. And
Absolutely.
Okay.
And you have to be able to have the perception to see what the difference is, you know. You can see the benefits and you can also see the difficulties.
Do Venusians have a concept of God, of a creator?
Yeah, we only believe that there's one source of energy, we call it. And this source of energy is exactly why everything exists, because it procreated from itself, this source of energy procreated from itself every living thing to exist in continuing cycles of never-ending cycles. And this ensures that this energy will continue.
Are we part of it, or
yeah, the Creator
is
lives,
it up there somewhere?
No, the Creator lives through everything that is alive.
So that sounds a little different than that we read in the Bible. The perception of a God
if you have
is different.
if you have a centrifuge and you throw into it rock, sand, and water, and it's spinning at a high rate, the heavy material falls to the outer edge. This would be the physical, the heavy material. And then more towards you go toward the center, the less material you have, till the center is just pure energy. This is where the center of creation is. And all of the other worlds are the other dimensions that come down to the physical. This is where the human beings gather their information and experience, and you have to have a physical vehicle. But the soul, the source of pure energy, the little piece of this Creator, has also the ability to have a body that is the same energy as all these other dimensions. And that's where it exists when it's not in the physical.
So we are not
of
just a physical body, but we have parts of our beings in the higher, closer to the center.
Right. Your physical body is just a vehicle, something that you live in and communicate with and are able to experience in this world. But the real essence of you is a soul. And when this physical body no longer is functionable, the soul still exists, but not in the physical. It exists in the other dimensions. And if it decides to come back to the physical, then, of course, it makes the decision according to experience that it needs. And this is what I teach in the workshops. I teach the whole concept of creation and your relation to it, and how that you're also a never-ending source.
And love is a key for everything.
Well, yes, because real love is the energy that flows from the Creator through all living things, and without it there would be nothing. That's unconditional love. That's not the conditioned love you have here in your societies. Unconditioned love means I love you because you are, with no other reason.
Not I love you if you love me.
Yeah, or if you do what I want.
Right. So we have some concepts here on Earth that are different than on Venus. Do you have sex on Venus, or is it just a physical
Well,
thing?
when we were physical, we did. We have the same sensation, because even though we don't have a physical body, we have forms, and we do have attractions, and we can share the same energy. In other words, you can exchange the energy, and it's the same feeling, and probably more intense than having sex here. In other words, it's still the same energy, but you're expressing it through a physical body, and there we don't have a physical body, but we can still feel this exchange.
I believe that sexuality is a big problem by people who are searching for spiritual progress.
I think sexuality is a natural function of the physical body, which is very healthy and beneficial. I think it's been misused and abused a lot in society and misunderstood. And there's a lot of moral difficulties attached to it. There's a lot of problems created out of repression and lack of understanding of what it's about. You shouldn't build a relationship on sexuality. The relationship should be a real connection on emotional levels and psychic levels and spiritual levels and understanding. And the sexuality should be a part of something very special that's added to this relationship. But if you build a relationship on this, and of course it's not going to be very stable.
Right. there seems to be a development on Earth that we, with our mass mediums, that there is a lot talk about